Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first, and then we'll see, right? At the end of the day, like I said before, I'm not asking for that fight. They wanna make that fight because it's a payday, obviously. But I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
It's a great fight. People want to see it, then we'll do it. You know, I don't say no to any fight. You know, as long as it's eye catching and eye candy to all of you that are watching right now, that's what really matters, you know. So, however, my main focus is truthfully is Crawford, and I know so it is for him.
Teofimo Lopez has come forward to say that he wants to fight Terence Crawford and Jaron Boo Dennis. While this was going on, Canelo Alvarez was having an affair with His Excellency Turkey Alec. This poked Crawford's future plans in danger, as a Lake recently said he didn't want to set up a fight between Canelo and Crawford because Canelo wanted 15 million, which was ridiculous. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing on the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend set. Later, Turkey explained his earlier unexpected choice. He said that they are currently focusing on making fights that are both profitable and exciting, which is not something in which Canelo seems to be very interested. He wrote, "I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid, so I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy channel fights." Canelo didn't waste any time responding to Turkey's comments, which came out after his angry press conference and fight with Eder Bonga, which almost led to a fight. Canelo says he wasn't excited about this fight at all because he and Crawford are different weights. He respects Crawford as a fighter, but he doesn't see him as a tough opponent, especially after how he fought Move recently.
Crawford is a great fighter, and I don't want to talk about that. He's a great fighter, and I have nothing to with Crawford.
Canelo looked angry about how he was treated. Dan said he would have agreed to the sale on his own terms because he doesn't like how the Saudis do business and is having a lot of problems with them. For Canelo, the best thing that could happen for Crawford is for him to meet Teofimo Lopez, who is the best fighter at 140 pounds and deserves to win.
Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first, and then we'll see, right? At the end of the day, like I said before, I'm not asking for that fight. They wanna make that fight because it's a payday, obviously. But I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than.
After Canelo's comments, the attention is now on Timo. This has brought up an old argument about who would win if Lopez and Budset ever fought. Since TFO keeps asking to fight big names like Budset, Javante Davies, and Jaron Anis, it looks like he may finally get the big fights he's been waiting for.
All about making boxing great again. That's what I came back to do, because I know as long as I keep facing the fighters, calling out champions like Terence Crawford, that people like, this man's crazy. Well, yeah, I'm crazy. I mean, I'm crazy to be great. When was that a problem? You know, and I mentioned that Roberto Duran fought all 4 kings or 3 kings and was a guy that everyone respects highly. Muhammad Ali faced Joe Frazier and so many other great champions that, you know, and got dropped in front of the world, in front of him. Like, who cares? You go and you stand.
After witnessing the fight between Quen and Moth, Timo stated how it was evident throughout the match that Terence's age might be catching up to him, as the once ferocious boxer was not in the ring during the fight. Expressing his agitation about this, Timo went on to state that he would like to get an opportunity with Crawford promptly, as he could see his golden chance slipping away due to Terence getting older. He stated the age is catching up to Crawford, and I would love to get Crawford now before it catches up to him later on. It's already there, and all I can say now is let's see what he does next. I think he should fight the guy that's coming up next, who is me. Timo also weighed in on the option of fighting Yaron Ennis. He is one of the most famous fighters in his welterweight division, and as an IBF world title holder, he might provide the big fight that Timo has been coveting since his comeback earlier this year. He stated, I have nothing but respect for Boots, as we've known each other for a long time now. It's a great fight, and if the people want to see it, then we'll do it. He further added, I don't say no to any fight as long as it's eye-catching, and I canny to all of you that are watching. However, despite all such possibilities offered to Timo, he still looks odd of and about fighting Crawford at any chance that he might get either this year or later on, stating it to be a huge stepping stone in his pursuit of greatness. Timo said, however, my main focus is truthfully on Quet, and I know it is for him too. So we'll see what happens down the line and see what happens for us this whole year and for the next year to come. Meanwhile, despite Tu's desire to face Crawford, now backed up by the comments made by Canelo, it appears as if the stance of Crawford and his team is still cynical in this regard, as recently after Terence's wing, his trainer and avid supporter Brown Bulk McIntyre exploded at Teofimo on his delusion of orchestrating a fight between him but not holding back. Brian Bulk McIntyre stated how this proposition is not even reasonable, as Timo brings nothing of value to the table that might ignite an interest in Crow. For he also noted that even if this was not the case, Timo is still not anywhere near worthy to fight with Crawford because he has lost the luster that he once possessed.
Actually adamant in calling out Terence Crawford, saying that that's his match.
He don't bring to the table neither. Trash, he trash. He used to be good, but now he trash. You heard it first. I'll put it out there. He trash. You trash. You straight trash, dog.
A well-known boxing expert and commentator named Adola Depot recently looked at the whole situation and told his readers that Canelo versus Crawford might not happen. He first noticed that Crawford's performance against Israel Madov, while good, wasn't quite the show-stopping performance that would get people excited about a possible 168-pound jump. Out said that a great effort was needed to get a lot of attention for the fight, which Crawford did.
Maybe. Number one, I think Crawford needed to look exceptional against Madrimov, so we know that, okay, he's now good at 154, he can maybe take that double jump to 168. Although he looked good, he didn't look exceptional. And that's no slight on Crawford. Madrimov's a very good fighter, but I felt like we needed to see something a bit special for us to get really excited.
He then talked about the money part, admitting that Canelo Alvarez's expectations might be hard to meet. It was said by Allo that Alec had made an offer to Canelo, but it was turned down. Canelo's demand for more than $100 million could be a huge problem that makes the fight less likely to happen.
Two, maybe Canelo's demands are just too big. I think Turkey said that he sent an offer to Canelo. I think Canelo's rejected it, and I think I saw an interview, or at least read something about Canelo wanting, I think, over 100 million. So, yeah.
Now, this fight is all about money. Only a big paycheck can make this happen, which is what famous boxing announcer Alec Jim Lampley isn't offering. Lampley talked about how this is a great chance for everyone to make a lot of money, not just Canelo and Crawford. He talked about how Crawford, who is known as the best fighter in terms of money, is different from Canelo, who is the highest paid boxer. Lampley said that even though fighters want to be number one pound for pound, the big money that comes with it is also a big role. This is especially true for Crawford, who is 36 and has a short career window. Lampley says that Crawford is the best boxer in the sport, pound for pound. What do you think about Canelo being the best fighter in the world? As their jobs go up, fighters dream of going to bed at night. Do they want to be number one in terms of weight? He also said that there is only so much time left when you have as much money as these people do. Crawford, who is 36 years old, only has a short time to make a lot of money and hit this level of wealth. Lampley says that Crawford would fight Canelo, who is the highest paid boxer in the sport. He went on to say that this fight is Crawford's last chance to get a big payday before the end of his career window. Crawford is 36 years old, so he doesn't have much time left to become number one dollar for dollar and cash at least a couple of these checks. Crawford has only one way to get that money, and that is to fight. It's because Canelo is number one right now in terms of money, and Crawford is number one in terms of weight, that he moved from Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing to Premier Boxing Champions. The PBC, led by Al Heyman, says that Canelo chose to join because it would make him more money. Heyman negotiated a huge three-fight deal worth more than $100 million for Canelo, showing that he values making a lot of money. The change in plans showed how big financial benefits can affect a fighter's ability to work with Canelo Alvarez on promotions, since he is now going to meet Edgar Berlanga instead of David Benavidez as planned. There is more talk about the fight. The fight with Benavidez has been planned for a long time, but it hasn't happened yet because of money problems. Canelo's large cash demands have been a big factor, leading to delays and changes in his opponents. In his speech, Canelo Alvarez explained why he wants so much money for a possible fight with David Benavidez. Although he knew there were risks, he pointed out Benavidez's skill and physical advantage, since he was going to be much bigger when he fought. For his part, Canelo said he was sure he could win if the money conditions were met. As Canelo Alvarez put it, obviously, he is a great fighter, and he brings 25 pounds more to the ring on fight night than I do. But I don't care if the money is right. Tomorrow I can beat that guy. Canelo should get about $250 million. In a recent show, he said that even after the talks, he could only stand up to Pav's offer of $200 million. He would not be willing to go below that amount under any circumstances.
If someone's willing to put up the $250 million,
I mean,
would you negotiate down?
no less than 200.
No less than 200.
Ooh.
All right, let's get 200. Hey, y'all, we got enough people in the room. Let's get the money.
Supposedly triggered by these insensitive remarks issued by Terence and his team regarding his son, Teofimo Lopez Sr. stated that his son is the best fighter at 140 at this moment, and for Brian McIntyre to say things like this. It's indeed mockery for the plain reason that they want to go against his fighter. Lopez even issued a lenient warning to Crawford stating that they are ready to fight him at any time, as Timo has proved time and time again that he is a proficient and agile fighter who can also move up to either 147 or 154 to fight with Buddit, who is allegedly best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He stated, "We are moving up to 147 to try to fight this guy. And if he doesn't want to fight us at 147, we will go and do it at cash weight. We could do it at 150 or 154 even if he wants," though many people were not roused by Two's latest performance against Steve Clet. Lopez Sr. emphasized that this perspective is hypocritical as in the past. His son was able to conquer Aunt Josh Taylor, who at that time was a force to be reckoned with. Lopez Sr. added, "People don't understand. My son is an expert. He reads you. He knows what movement you are going to make every time you make the movements. We beat Josh Taylor so easily that nobody in the world could do it." However, recalling the fight between Timo and Josh Taylor last year, it might not be as illustrious as Lopez Sr. makes it out to be, as though Timo won the battle with a unanimous decision. The performance that was displayed is not adequate to challenge an undisputed world champion such as Crawford, despite his increasing age. Talking about Timo pursuing after guys that no one wants to face, Chris Algieri, a former boxer and welterweight world champion, stated that regardless of people discrediting Timo due to his foos behavior, he is still a guy who does not shy away from meeting fighters who are bigger and tougher than him, despite being at a clear disadvantage against them.
A lot of things that do not. So yes, he is one of those guys who fights the difficult fights. He goes after the guys, like you said, Champ, Paulie, that, you know, he's sought after these big fights. He also fights a lot of these tough guys that people don't want to fight. The Sandor Martins of the world, the Jermaine Ortizes of the world. Those are tough outs, and you don't get a lot for beating them. And then when you get raked over the coals when you don't stun.
Chris, on the other hand, pointed out that Teofimo was lying when he said that everyone is ignoring him because he keeps saying that he only wants to fight guys like Terence Crawford when he doesn't have any other fighters in his weight class to fight.
Matchups, when you're starting to chase dragons and gorillas, like I always say, like the Terence Crawfords of the world, lions and tigers and bears. Yeah, lions, tigers, bears, dragons. You start chasing these kinds of fights, it turns the fans off because you have a ton of tigers that you can actually fight all around you. And you're chasing.
In addition to what Brian Bulk McIntyre already said, Chris said that Terence doesn't want to fight Timo because it wouldn't be worth his time or skill. Because of this, Chris thinks that the best thing for Timo to do would be to stay in his weight class and fight guys who are similar to him instead of going after a fighter who is many weight classes above him. Chris said that Crawford never brings up Timo because there's no real fight and no other option. I agree with Chris that Crawford should pay more attention to the guys right next to him. There are a lot of tough guys around him, he said. I don't see how Timo is going to jump up 3 weight classes to fight Terence right now. Chris was on the same show as Paulie Malik, who argued against Chris's point in favor of Timo. He said that if Timo gives up his quest to become the best fighter, he might be stuck with fighters like Steve, who are good opponents but not very marketable or entertaining to watch. Paulie said that if he doesn't do it, he'll be stuck facing the Steves of the world, who are solid but not big enough names to where he can get the best of himself going. He's one of those guys who fights at the top of their opposition. Tim Bradley stressed that there is nothing wrong with a fighter going after big opponents who may give them a good chance to move up in their career, which is exactly what Timo seems to be thinking about.
Man, he's a type of fighter that fights to the level of his competition. So if he fights a guy like Crawford, he's going to show up and he's going to show.
When asked about the most common complaint that Timo only fights guys for the attention and money he can make from them, Timo said that at the end of the day, every boxer wants to make a name for themselves and leave a legacy. So it doesn't make sense for everyone to be against Timo for doing the same thing. Timo said that he wants to fight the best guy, who will also pay him the most, which shows that he cares more about his image. Gregory said it wasn't a serious fight because he didn't have anyone to fight, but you do, like Timo's stop. Gregory also said that if this unplanned fight ever happens, Terence will definitely win because he is a better fighter than a much smaller Timo always. Even after his recent fight against Matif, Gregory said, "You come in looking little, he's knocking you out, but Timo doesn't have enough experience to handle it."
I feel like Tio did that because Bud got a buzz right now, and it would seem crazy, it would seem out of this world if Tio took a fight like that and nobody saw it coming, so let me use his name. It's just like other fighters use other fighters' names.
Antonio Tarver, who used to be a heavyweight world champion, thinks Terence will win this fight because he is stronger than Timo in every way. The younger fighter has some great skills, but they aren't as good as Bud's.
Man, want to talk about magic, man. I got Crawford because I see him being a bigger Teofimo. Yeah. He's a bigger Teofimo that can do everything. Ooh. You feel me? Ooh. Yeah, bigger T.O. T.O. got all the intangibles, power, boxing, everything. Yeah. But I think Crawford has that too, but he's bigger.
Despite the fact that most boxes are against him, T.O. is still set on fighting top boxes, like Laren Nis, who he mentioned in his most recent statement. It's not a surprise that Jiren was able to get T.O.'s attention, since Boots is one of the best fighters in the welterweight division with a record of 32 wins and 29 knockouts, and T.O. has a history of fighting Boots.
I feel like T.O. did that because Bud got a buzz right now, and it would seem crazy, it would seem out of this world if T.O. took a fight like that and nobody saw it coming, so let me use his name. It's just like other fighters use other fighters' names.
However, Raphael thinks that despite T's ongoing demands for a fight, Boots, Sis and Terence Crawford should fight with each other rather than hash things out with Tim, as that particular deal is not profitable for either of them at this stage in their careers. Then stated Boots' Sinus is a welterweight, and if he moves up one weight division, and if there's enough money on the table for that fight, I think both sides would absolutely do it, being aware of all the inside scoop of the boxing world. Then disclose the real reason for Turkey having a change of heart about orchestrating the big Canelo versus Crawford fight, which seemed to be Canelo's refusal to bend to his whim, according to them, even though this particular fight might not see the light of day. Turkey still plans on organizing big fights for Crawford, including the bout with Boot NS, or perhaps even TIA Familop. He stated Canelo hasn't kissed the ray, if you will, so Turkey still wants to do Crawford fights, he wants to deliver Crawford a big fight, and Canelo obviously would be a big event, but he just had a change of heart, I guess. So in the end, what do you guys think about the cancellation of the much anticipated match between Canelo and Crawford? Do you think that it was the right move by Turkey Ashikin? Should Teofimo Lopez really be looking after a fight with Terence Crawford? Make sure to tell us about your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel.